Number 25, revolve the region bound by these three curves around the x-axis. What will be the volume of that solid of revolution? So step 1, graph the three boundaries and establish the region. Step number 2, draw a representative rectangle. Recall that the volumes are based on the volume of a cylinder, which is the area of the circular base, times its height. And the height in this problem is dx. That's the height of our cylinder, this disk. All right, so all we need is an expression for radius. So we've got this entire disk, which we don't really want because only this rectangle is sweeping out the space, not this rectangle, which would give us the whole disk. So for the entire cylinder, or the entire disk, the same thing, it would be pi times radius squared times the height. Again, the height of this disk is dx. The radius is the distance from the x-axis to the red curve, which is this y value. So pi times the radius squared dx. But since we're only talking about this rectangle, we don't want everything on the inside. That is, we're cutting out the hole. So we're going to subtract that hole. And again, it's just a cylinder. So the volume of that red cylinder, the red hole, is its radius, pi times its radius squared times its height. What's the radius of the hole? Well, the blue region defines our rectangle. So depending on where the blue region is, the upper bound was that red curve, but the lower bound is always this green line, which is when y is equal to 1. So the radius of that red disk always is 1. All right, so if that's the volume of a single washer, the white part, the white and black part, then when we do that for this entire blue region, we're going to accumulate an infinite number of those with infinitesimally small heights of dx's. In other words, the accumulation function, the definite integral, or the sum accumulation of all these washers as the x values go from 0 to the yellow line, which is x equals 2. Then I'll factor that common factor of pi out in front, and now we have just 1 plus x squared, quantity squared, minus 1, which appears to be, what, is that choice D? Choice D, indeed. All right, I hope that made things really clear in case they weren't before.